Drones are becoming increasingly popular tools for solving a variety of tasks in the modern world. In our new episode, get ready to see unique footage shot with the help of drones and enjoy the picturesque nature, wonderful sights, and exciting moments. So, let's go! Just imagine how difficult it is to make any maneuvers in this port to avoid collisions. There is a reason why killer whales are considered the most dangerous predators in the ocean. Even humpback whales and sperm whales often become their victims. With the sunrise, this place becomes especially beautiful and acquires a warm, extremely cozy atmosphere. The twisted torso on the shore of the Oases Strait is the tallest building in Sweden, with a height of 190 meters. It is divided into 9 elements, each of which rotates clockwise as it rises, and the uppermost segment is rotated 90 degrees relative to the first floor. Iceland is one of the few countries where another volcanic eruption may well force you to change your plans for the day. In this moment of solitude, he not only struggles with gravity and fatigue, but also learns the limits of his abilities. The explosive method of soil mining effectively develops hard and rocky soils, reducing labor costs and work completion time. The Duanwu Festival is an official public holiday in China, and the most important and spectacular part of it is the tradition of dragon boat racing. One of the most iconic places on the island of Madagascar is the Alley of Baobabs. Scientists estimate that some of the trees are more than 800 years old, and they are the last trees left from the dense rainforest. I call this place the Cemetery of Buses, despite the fact that they look new and serviceable. Undoubtedly, blue whales are one of the most majestic creatures on Earth. Demolition by explosion is a very effective way to get rid of an emergency building. However, it should be borne in mind that this is a time-consuming and expensive process. It is not necessary to fly to Mars to see such extraordinary landscapes. It is enough to get to the state of Utah in the USA. Every year on July 11th, the so-called 11th night is celebrated in Northern Ireland. This evening, the Protestants light huge towers, which were previously built from wooden pallets. The euphoria that a person feels after climbing to the top of the mountain is indescribable. Spectacular views become a symbol of overcoming difficulties and trials. New York is a big city, but even here, 400 people on water skis at the same time is something unprecedented. In the northeast of the Netherlands, in the province of Groningen, near the border with Germany, there is a beautiful Fort Bartange. The bastion system has an unusual star-shaped structure. The Emperor Alexander I fort was one of the long-term fortifications of the Kronstadt fortress. Its second name is Plague, since in 1897, at the height of the bubonic plague epidemic, a laboratory for the production of plague vaccine was opened here. I must say that in China, they are able to make the opening of various sports and cultural events incredibly spectacular. One of the main attractions of Norway is the pulpit. It is a huge square cliff with an almost flat surface. The rock rises above the picturesque Gleisfjord at 604 meters and gives everyone who visits its peak a stunning view of the fjord. Those who suffer from insomnia can try to count these sheep at night. It is difficult to underestimate the success and skill of these athletes, given that they managed to climb 27.5 meters in less than 20 seconds. It should be clarified right away that the people did not take direct part in the dismantling of this bridge and only controlled the operation remotely. Who would have thought that a rocket could land so smoothly and softly? The Portuguese island of Vila Franca is formed by the crater of an underwater volcano. Its walls are covered with pristine vegetation, and in the inner part, there is a natural pool of almost perfect round shape, which is connected to the sea by a narrow passage. Even if nurse sharks do not attack people, still not everyone decides to take such a swim among them. Does it really feel like he's floating in the desert? Such an unusual foam in the Armour Bay was formed as a result of algae blooming. These lights are one of the most striking manifestations of the beauty of modern big cities. What could be better than a combination of vivid emotions, thrills, and picturesque nature? Everyone is able to surpass their own capabilities when the goal is of particular interest. It is worth looking closely as it becomes clear that this is not an ordinary crack in the ice, but an opening through which a whale breathes. What could be more spectacular than one explosion? Only a whole series of explosions to develop the soil. Why wait for summer when you can enjoy nature and water sports even in the cold season? Located on the coast of Galicia in Spain, the lighthouse called Hercules Tower was created during the existence of the Roman Empire. It is considered one of the oldest and still functioning lighthouses in the world. Nevertheless, the architecture of the Netherlands never ceases to amaze me. This seemingly unremarkable house moves in a circle in such a way that it is always filled with sunlight. Nugget Point, crowned by a lighthouse, is one of the most famous places on the coastline of the Otago region in New Zealand. Despite the fact that it was built in 1860, it still copes with its tasks perfectly. Thanks to the use of drones, we can observe animals in their natural habitat. Even though it was possible to find out what happened to the cargo, there was no chance to save it. The tilt-rotor aircraft is able to combine the vertical takeoff and landing of the helicopter with the high speed and range of the aircraft, which makes it a unique device. Atomium is one of the main symbols of Brussels, which is a model of the crystal lattice of iron, which is enlarged 165 billion times. This futuristic structure symbolizes the atomic age, the great possibilities of atomic energy, and its peaceful use for scientific purposes. Aniva Lighthouse, once known as Cape Nakashira Toko Lighthouse, is a coastal lighthouse that was built by the Japanese in 1930 on southern Sakhalin in the Savuchia Rock near the inaccessible rocky Cape Aniva. It is considered one of the most difficult technical structures because part of the lighthouse consists of a rock and part is man-made. Huge sinkholes are increasingly appearing all over the world. Even though scientists can often easily explain the reason for their occurrence, it is not pleasant to think that the Earth may suddenly go out from under your feet. As soon as I see it, it immediately makes me think about how little we know about animals yet. This man is a real professional. Together with his team, they discovered a python that was bothering people and took it away to take it to a more natural habitat. Even though the city of Rotterdam has a centuries-old history, its main attractions are cubic houses. Their bright and unique design consisted of the fact that the Dutch architect Piet Blom, turning the cube horizontally by 45 degrees, managed to place it at the angle of the hexagon. It is one of the largest cultural centers in China. There are 6 pavilions here, which house museums, libraries, and restaurants, so it's not surprising that a huge number of tourists seek to visit it. It's nice to think that it'll soon be possible to delegate window cleaning to our loyal drone assistants. You don't have to be afraid of heights to feel your heart sink into your heels from what you see. This time, such a picturesque location was chosen for the military exercises. Modern drones are used for everything. For example, this time they cleared power lines with the help of a drone. The only question is the following: is this method safe? Small aircraft play an important role in agriculture, especially in the process of irrigation of fields. Helicopters can quickly and evenly spray water, fertilizers, and plant protection products over large areas. One example of unusual engineering structures is the longest bridge in the world, Hangzhou Bay, which is 36 kilometers long. Another important fact about it is that he remained unharmed after surviving 19 typhoons. In reservations, people take care of the health of animals. However, in order to help some of them, you must first try very hard. Given that this area is monitored by a very strict and vigilant guard, the drone has no chance to fly here. This fabulous flight will definitely become a happy memory. However, if you don't like extreme sensations in parachuting, don't try to repeat it. The landing of this aircraft caused the formation of a small sandstorm.
Oh boy.
The successful takeoff of a fighter aircraft from the carrier depends not only on the pilot, but also on the whole team. This predator has already found its prey. It remains only to deliver it to the dining table. However, this process does not look like the safest way to launch a huge vessel. There is something exciting about the process of dismantling by explosion. Such an unusual residential complex called the Vertical Forest was built in the center of Milan. It's not just skyscrapers decorated with plants, but a combination of reinforced concrete structures and a forest ecosystem. Male is the capital of the Maldives and a unique combination of dense urban development and tropical paradise. Located on the island of the same name, this small town, with a population of about 150,000 people, is the economic and cultural center of the country. Surely, the water that is supplied under pressure could easily cope with even a large-scale fire. It is unlikely that even experienced surfers often engage in their favorite sports in such pleasant company.
Right, go, go, go. They come from nowhere, wow.
If you forget that sharks are dangerous predators, then the process of feeding them is practically no different from the process of feeding aquarium fish. Modern drone shows are becoming brighter and amaze viewers with their innovation and entertainment. They represent the simultaneous performance of a large number of drones equipped with LEDs and other lighting effects. Even a person who does not suffer from the fear of pandemonium may feel uncomfortable here. The Peak Walk Bridge, installed at an altitude of almost 3,000 meters, has a partial glass floor to allow visitors to look down from a breathtaking height. Its length is 106 meters, and its width is only 80 centimeters. It is not a problem for China to accommodate the population of a small city in one building. Initially, it was assumed that the building would become a hotel, but plans changed and the developer created a house in which 20,000 people now live. From a height, this road looks amazing, but I definitely would not like to get stuck in traffic here. Huasa, China is located 4 kilometers west of the city of Ica in southwestern Peru. This is a small but amazingly beautiful oasis in the middle of the desert, which in the middle of the last century became a popular resort due to the healing properties of its lagoon. On the beautiful island of Thasos, which is one of the main tourist centers of Greece, there is a magnificent lagoon known as Giola. It is separated from the Aegean Sea by only a narrow strip of rocks. No matter how many tourists arrive, they definitely won't want to swim here. Even though there are about 3,500 waterfalls in the world, Niagara Falls remains the most famous and recognizable. It may not be the most comfortable place to live, but it's definitely worth visiting here at least once in your life. Using a flyboard gives you a lot of adrenaline and unforgettable impressions when you soar into the air, perform tricks, and feel freedom and fun while hovering over the water's surface. Do you know that thanks to a drone you can find out about a horrific crime? Flying over the territory of an abandoned factory, the drone recorded strange actions on the part of a masked man, so the operator immediately passed the information to police. Considering how huge the wind turbines are, it's not so easy to assemble them. It is especially important to install and balance their blades. Despite the fact that the world is becoming more and more connected, there remain entire peoples and tribes whose customs and traditions strike to the core. It is unlikely that this is some kind of marketing, but it will definitely be remembered by all people coming here. Do you also think that this is not just a cloud, but some kind of incredible portal to other worlds? The favelas of Rio de Janeiro on the hillsides are captivating with their unique structure. However, such a location makes it impossible to create a decent infrastructure and also increases the risk of landslides and other natural disasters. Despite these difficulties, the favelas have a rich culture and a strong sense of unity among the inhabitants. There is no doubt that this guy is a great athlete and knows how to adapt to various circumstances. Pilgrimage to holy places, especially on the tops of mountains, requires significant physical and spiritual efforts. Even though this path is full of challenges, it can also be a perfect time to reflect on eternity and comprehend your own destiny.